Buildings tell stories. Today's story is about Brașov, perhaps the most beautiful city in Romania. Its buildings are telling a story in three parts. The first is the period of the Saxon citadel that developed and gained regional prominence. The second is the communist era, when Brașov's population grew nearly fourfold and the city transformed into an important industrial center. The last is the contemporary era, when modern capitalism brings shopping centers and office buildings. Three layers of buildings, three ways of understanding and constructing the city, a long history of nearly 8 centuries. But why is Brașov considered a wonderful city? We can think of 2 reasons: proximity to nature and rich, well-preserved built heritage. Today, the mountains, hills, and forests give the city its unmistakable charm. In the past, these same peaks protected it. This natural fortress was one of the reasons why Brașov was founded here and managed to prosper. The oldest documentary attestation of Brașov dates from 1235, but traces of habitation are from prehistoric times. Brașov was born under the name Corona. In this first stage, the so-called old part of the city was built. This is the tourist part, the picturesque part of the city. Here lies the valuable heritage, both from an aesthetic as well as historical and symbolic point of view. The second period includes the tumultuous years of communism between 1947 and its fall in 1989. Brașov then transformed from a medieval citadel into an industrial center. The city's population grew fourfold, from over 80,000 inhabitants to over 320,000 inhabitants. This demographic explosion reflects the profound transformations of the city, from the quiet citadel of yesteryear to the industrial metropolis of the 1980s. The third stage is the one after 1989. It leaves visible traces in the urban landscape, but has not yet redefined the city's urban structure as profoundly as previous epochs. Old Brașov was founded by Saxons, pronounced Sashi in Romanian, who arrived in the Transylvania area after 1211. They came from West Germanic regions such as the Rhine area, Flanders, Luxembourg, and Saxony, and were sent by the King of Hungary, along with the Teutonic Knights, to defend the borders of the Hungarian kingdom to which these territories belonged. The city was conceived from the beginning as a center of crafts and trade, not as an agricultural settlement. Saxon colonization brought the spirit of medieval Europe to Țara Bursei through urban institutions, guilds, and commercial privileges. Thus, Brașov quickly became one of the most prosperous centers in Transylvania. The Saxons razed the walls, towers, and gates of the citadel, built the Black Church, the largest Gothic cathedral between Vienna and Constantinople, the Council House, the seat of the old urban administration, and other important buildings of the city. For almost 6 centuries, Brașov was surrounded by fortifications raised through the work of guilds. The walls were not just stone, but a symbol of solidarity. Behind them sheltered a community that understood that organization and collaboration lead to long-term prosperity. The ethnic structure of Transylvania throughout this entire period was diverse. Romanians were always the majority population, with a proportion exceeding 50% of the total inhabitants of Transylvania. Alongside them lived Saxons, Hungarians, settlers, and other minorities. Romanians lived in rural areas and mountainous regions. Cities like Brașov were dominated by Saxons and Hungarians. Outside of the Saxons, other communities such as Romanians had limited access to the citadel. The Romanian quarter was Shea. The gates through which they entered the city were Catherine's Gate and Shea Gate. Ethnic segregation was maintained until before 1800. The 19th century marks other essential changes. Military technology evolved, and the previously built fortification system became useless. Medieval privileges were abolished, guilds disappeared, and were replaced with small enterprises. The bourgeoisie dominated social life, a new middle class appeared, and rail transport developed. The city was systematized according to the Viennese model, with imposing buildings erected on the site of former fortifications. These are symbols of modernity and openness. The communist period broke historical continuity. Communism brought forced industrialization coupled with forced urbanization. Workers' neighborhoods were built, which still dominate the urban landscape today. The regime even wanted a civic center to duplicate the historic center, a project that remained unfinished. After 1989, the city continued to transform. The first major transformation was related to the disappearance of factories built during communist times that could no longer survive because they were not built on solid economic foundations. They were replaced by modern industry, adapted to competition in a free market. However, this was built outside the city. Today, the same number of employees from communist-era factories are in multinational capitalist factories. In the middle of the city, industrial buildings were replaced by shopping centers and offices. Buildings tell stories, and in Brașov, the stories come to life among mountains that have seen centuries passing. Here, nature and history complement each other, making Brașov perhaps the most beautiful city in Romania, a city worth seeing, hearing, and discovering step by step.